Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ay, coming down like precipitation. I ain't never met a limitation. Hate plotting my elimination. Gotta go to Google for the information. I'm a superstar, so I gotta shine. Top dollar be the bottom line. Bottom feeding niggas out of line. Turn your heart rate to a dotted line. Yeah, my zodiac probably dollar sign. Got the energy to win it, my nigga, I'm feeling great. Got a day with destiny, focusing on my fate. I don't give a fuck what you rapping, you been a fake. I'm everything that they ain't, it can't be, it won't be. Wanna see me fall, I can't go, I won't leave. Coming from the block with plain clothes and police. Straight up to the top with bankrolls and rollies. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ay, 12 can't really stop shit, so I'm still pushing like a mosh pit. Ice dripping, think I'm hot shit. In a yellow bucket with the mop stick. I've been jugging jams like wholesale. Everything must go sell. Hitting bitches with the old well. Need 100 million on the low scale. On my worst night, I'm the best nigga. Wouldn't mess with you, couldn't cap to him. Homie spotted me like 700, brought 1100 right back to him. If I can't do it, then it ain't real. I just make dollars, I don't make deals. I've been going hard in the paint, still blowing kush clouds till I can't feel like. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
And hello, everybody. Welcome back to week 4? I'm so lost because this runs like 4. Thank you. It runs parallel with my university, so I mix up the weeks too much. It's Vanquisher. I'm back. I'm halfling, joined once again by Golden Cat. We've got a fun series lineup here between ABS. I already know I was going to mess it up. And Evil.
Yeah, so this is obviously going to be an in-group match since last week we did have our cross-group competition. So this one's back to the roots here. We are sitting in Group C for this one for Arcbolt Surge versus Strawberry. How evil. Their Megamind is their logo. They definitely have a theme there going on. So pretty interesting stuff here. So somehow, some way, Group C has ended up in a 5-way tie at 2-1, with Arcbolt Surge being the only team that's 1-2. So let's just say if they lose this series, they could just be eliminated right here.
Yeah. I think you were talking about how essentially a loss here is completely out of playoffs, and a win is pretty much just to say mathematically in playoffs is usually how
Not
we like to call it.
completely out, but like good luck.
It's
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 like
you're
you're
mathematically
relying
in.
on other people, like two
Yeah.
other teams just losing the rest. That kind of
Oh
thing.
yeah, that's a gross one. Yeah, I can see that Group C. So this is a big game here for Strawberry. How evil they want to cement themselves at the top of the table properly, against what kind of has to be considered your easier match against Arcbolt Surge. And you mentioned Arcbolt Surge fighting to stay alive, fighting to stay relevant here. So they've kind of got nothing to lose. There's nothing to hold back, nothing to save. New patch out, and we've been kind of looking through a couple of those changes here. And you mentioned kind of the funny, a couple of the funnier things. But I think a big thing that got changed that you kind of picked up at the last second is the Maokai buffs. That was a champion that was already still kind of on the fringe, not as strong as it used to be, but it's like, hey, we can run this as a last-ditch option, and getting some of that monster damage back, I think, is very important.
Yeah, and like Maokai is always going to be good in a team environment, offering vision, engage, peel as well. These are all things that you would love to see out of a jungler in particular. And with jungle kind of taking a more of a backseat role, Maokai is like the perfect kind of backseat jungler where, hey, I just need to click R at the right time, and sometimes I'm going to find one of those carries and we win the game. But there's still also a lot of strong things on the patch, particularly Jinx getting banned out, quite strong on this patch. But the bot lane meta has kind of shifted into like late game scaling. So we're seeing Ashe Seraphine in a lot of the pro games, as well as stuff like Zeri Yumi even pop up here and there. So I hope not to see that stuff, but obviously it's still an option since late game scaling is the name of the game for them. Orianna, always a solid pickup. You usually will typically see an Azir or an Akali at this point. As a response to the Xin Zhao, I really like the Akali, I think. It provides such a strong 2 core, but maybe saving that pick for a little bit later would be good. So I think grabbing a good 80 carry here makes a lot of sense, and there will be the Yunara.
Sven had a pop-off performance on that a couple days ago with it, so I would be shocked if a little bit of that's influencing. It's been running rampant everywhere as like this really good one-item carry that can scale. It's not going to punch up to a Jinx like you mentioned, but it can kind of go up there if you got the hands to work with it. And this is another champion that we've been seeing really, really shoot up in priority, and that's that Gnar consistently showing up. I don't know how I feel about the Zehen here. I think I would have preferred Pantheon specifically as just something to kind of stay inside a Crescent Guard properly. Zehen can do that, but you just don't have the tank to offer. Means you got to get ahead.
Yeah, Zehen jungle has been looking really strong, kind of everywhere in the world. It's just the beat stick champion right now. So it could deal with a couple champions diving onto him. It's not too big of a deal. I'm surprised to see the Gnar locked in so early. I guess it's your safe blind pick top. But Gnar's not exactly the strongest champion on the patch. It's something more of a specialist champion where you can kind of excel. But there are a lot of counter picks to this champ. Seeing Yone is interesting, which does mean you're kind of lacking AP at this point right now. So I'm curious to see whether that'll actually be, relevant or not. We are seeing a lot of bans towards the bot lane. Sivir and Corki makes a lot of sense. It's something that outscales your Yunara. Yunara's one of those like can do everything champion, strong early game, strong mid game, strong late game. But there's some times when she's exploitable, and then we do get an Ahri ban as well. But it's going to be the Galio lock-in, so something that's very supplemental for a Xin Zhao Yone, and that's targeted towards top, I have to imagine. But we'll see where that lands.
It's possible. You can kind of keep around. Oh, great. We can keep moving on though. Vayne. I saw that as a mistake pick earlier, but it's going to be the real Vayne. It can manage with Yunara, but it's definitely not the same toe-to-toe that your Corki and your Sivir can really do. Of course, those are banned out alongside the Jinx, alongside the Varus too, so a lot of ADCs already off the table. So Vayne, not the worst thing in the world, but I'm looking at these 2v2s in the bot lane that not Yunara, it just makes sense. It just makes so much more sense to me than Vayne Rel.
That is a very classic thing. I will say Rel right now is a partner to a lot of the kill lanes. I've been hearing this a little bit from a little birdie in my ear related to university scrims, like collegiate level scrims. Apparently you pick Rel, you win lane by killing them. We'll see if that's actually true or not. But obviously Nautilus is a great response to Rel. You can interrupt the crash down with the Q, of course. But I will say Vayne, at least as a pick, is pretty good because you get to get around a lot of the engage from the Yone and the Xin Zhao. So that means you just kind of have to deal with this big AoE from Galio, and then, I mean, Nautilus clicking R on you is a little less effective because you can go invis. We'll see how that ends up playing out. If the Vayne gets out to an early lead, I could see this game being completely unplayable for Arcbolt Surge, honestly. They just don't have great options to get onto her. But I'm really looking at the top lane. Can the Gnar actually stave off whether it's the Yone or the Galio? I'm not entirely sure, because honestly, you could play both into either champion here. And Gnar, once again, not the strongest on the patch, so is exploitable by some of these longer range kind of melees. Yone and Galio, I'd consider both longer range melees, just to the nature of their kits. So I don't know. I think the comps are pretty interesting. I'd obviously favor the more standard look from Arcbolt as far as like, oh, this is a very straightforward composition to play. You know what you're gonna do. But at the end of the day, I do think Arcbolt Surge has Evil, Strawberry How Evil has like a really good, just, we're going to win early game. We're going to figure out what we're going to do in mid game after that, after one of our 3 carries has a very good lead. And Zahen's very good at kind of supplementing one additional carry.
Yeah, I can 100% see that from Evil here. Someone's got to get fed, so someone can get played around here. As Strawberry How Evil, and that kind of gives Poom here a very good opportunity to run around the map and collect that gold from that lane specifically. It was mentioned by Idris, specifically watching this bot lane here to see what goes on, see how Jed interacts with that as well. So this 3v3 could be interesting, and we could just get a complete farm out too, because Hyrax and Aragon don't really have the same amount of pressure in comparison to God's Glory and oh god, I can't even read that name because it's too small in my end. But the Yunara Nautilus just doesn't have the same the same scaling ability. They can do it, but Nautilus specifically can fall behind. You really want to play this Rel matchup in lane, throw those dredge lines out to try and stop any crash downs, and if you can't really set up with that in lane, you're going to kind of turn into an alt bot late game, and Rel is going to have so much more to do in team fights than you. So look for ABS to really get just really start causing issues early on as fast as possible. I'm happy to take this traditional team fight. I'm happy to see how they're going to create these issues. So I'll kind of ride or die the underdogs here for the series. With that being the case, unfortunately here, it's a small indie company. We got a little bit of a client bug. Everyone had to remake. They're going to get that draft going pretty soon. With that being the case, we got to send you out while that happens. We'll see you here back for game 1 once it starts. And welcome back, everybody. Apologies for a little bit of the longer break there, but we've gotten over the client issues. We're back in the game. Let's see how the God, I forgot. What's the Admiral? What's his name? Colonel. They were Colonel Sanders. See if Colonel Sanders can cook anything in the mid lane.
Yeah, we'll see. Humor on the Galio, so it will be that Yone top into Gnar. Makes a lot of sense. I mean, Yone's always been something that's good into ranged champions. And Galio could probably work against both these champs, but traditionally a pretty good pick into the Orianna in particular, since a mobile mage, guess what? You got to deal with that taunt that will be coming through. Anyways, in the bot lane, I'm surprised to not see any like aggressive trading early on. Usually Rel loves to take these early trades just because of that extra shielding from the actual crash down, but pretty interesting.
I think you're a little worried about like the extended trades like these here. If you wanted to get into these trades with that full stacked up Q on Yanara, it's not gonna help with your Vayne specifically, who's really good at that like single to double auto trades. She tumbles forward, finds that empowered auto, and like just like that exactly. But
Yeah.
Anything after that, I feel like is just going to kind of mop the floor. So that's maybe giving Aragon a little bit of hesitation in the trades. But you kind of discovered something loading on in that at least we here up in the booth didn't realize. Instrument's a Gnar one trick, pretty much.
Oh yeah, yeah. 75 games this season. Next highest champ, Mbessa with 10. So they're dropping the load right now. For Strawberry How Evil, I'm curious to see if they'll win with it, because obviously I talked about how Gnar is like usually a specialist champ. Not exactly the strongest, but hey, specialist he is. So curious to see how that'll play out. Humor now taking a big chunk here. Did not expect to take so much since the phase rush kind of ticked out. So just gonna be forced away from this cannon. We'll still have the Q to grab it up, so not the biggest deal.
Ooh, force the flash. Humor's gonna get punished for that. Has to pop the taunt to get the extra resistances, so it's okay there. I feel like this would have been a massive aftershock. Yeah, they got the flash out, and that's a dredge line to the bot lane. Q putting in a little bit of work. That's how I'm going to say this for the rest of the time, by the way.
Kerwa?
Kerwa?
I think it's always weird. I think we called them Kerwa last split.
Kerwa? I'll take that one. I like that.
It's like the Wazda.
Ooh. Dear Lord, Aragon's getting knocked up there. Able to find that onto Jed, though. Has to flash away. The Ignite taken down. Jed taking a lot of damage down. Kerwa stuck in a little bit of a bad spot with those silver bolts, and God's Glory and Poom here in the bot lane. I don't think they're going to get too much help from their bot lanes, but Kerwa has more HP. Going to muscle away. This is a crab here for the side of ABS.
Yeah, and now Hyrax walking forward. Humor still has the flash, but no mana in the tank.
Humor.
Oh,
Oof.
Greedy.
Very.
I mean, really limit testing heavy. Does have the TP here to come back into lane. With God's Glory in the area, I'm curious to see if the ward actually spotted him. It definitely did, but not paying attention. Jacob.
Oh, has that flash forward. Winds become lightning. It's just a guarantee at that point. There was a trade on the other side of the map, though, in the meantime.
Yeah, nice sneaky play there from Poom to just sit in that bottom lane brush, and Aragon just baits in the Nautilus, typical of the champion. You just want to go in as much as possible. Klugi now looking for a big trade here. Going to miss that Q on the tail end there, so actually going to be down in the HP early on. Obviously, Yone, you're looking to just farm up for now. Maybe trade out so the jungler can gank at some point, but with, God's Glory taking a reset and now seeing that the jungler is on the top side, definitely going to be a little bit more chill for the next couple minutes, especially considering, Gnar level 6 spike is very significant for that champion.
It's very good. You can definitely start trying to invade here with the Zen, which I feel like you kind of should be doing maybe a little bit, especially if you're grabbing this much priority that instrument is. Because trying to burn the Gnar ult in the 1v1 is fine. It feels great to land, but all in all, the damage is just not really going to compare to the Fate Sealed from Yone, as well as going to have that snapback from the soul. So it's going to be hard to deal with, as we actually have a replay of that bot incident, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, I think this was the initial fight that started it off, where Jed gets jumped on, flashes away, and then we just have a long extended play with both of these players being very low, but Poom gets spotted on this ward, kind of fights it out, and then he's just going to immediately give up the scuttle and path all the way into this brush, completely hidden. Actually, might have been spotted there. I guess just wasn't expecting it. Wasn't expecting Poom to just stay, so Kerwa just greeds out and gets killed.
Yeah. I understand it. Did get the one there, so It's not
Yeah,
like
not all
the
bad.
end of the world. Yeah, it's not all bad, but I completely understand the mindset of, oh, they're in the bush, might as well stop the back. That must mean that they missed Poom there then, or just expected them to reset faster.
Yeah, just not expecting the timing there. Humor has been trying to go for heavy trades. Obviously, you have the Galio, Xin Zhao, so it's like very easy to set up ganks for that lane. So just keeping the Orianna low, trading your resources is very valuable, especially since Phase Rush is so good into Orianna.
Gets you out very quick, and they're going to find the Soul into Hyrax. That's not enough for God's Glory, though, to look for the play, but the pings are coming down, and they're going to show there. Finally, good Dredge Line's going to land there. Crash down Soul for Aragon, able to get within the range. Dash, Winds become lightning, going to land. That's the extended range knockup, not found. Good, condemned to the wall. Aragon still alive, 1 HP, one more auto. Jed couldn't get in the range, pop the barrier to stay alive. You can see here comes Humor. They're not going to humor that at a roam, though, and just has to give up the tower.
Yeah, we'll get the plate gold as well, so something like a lot of the pro teams have been talking about is how top lane is an island, because as soon as you show yourself top lane, something on the bot side is going to give, and right now dragons are so important. The plates on bot side to free up your AD carry a little bit are also so important that it's just generally not worth it. That's why these champions like Gnar, Yone, a little bit more self-sufficient. Okay, not necessarily Yone, but, you know, I see Yone fitting a similar bill, you know, as like Gwen, for instance, or Rumble, potentially. So, you know, that's just kind of been the meta. So you're seeing Poom actually just spend so much time on this bot side. It's basically full clear bot side. All right, I'm bot now. Okay, reset. Okay, full clear bot top side to bot side. All right, I'm bot now. And that's just going to be on repeat for the next couple minutes here.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a state of limbo as we kind of just wait for cooldowns back again, wait for everyone to be in the right spot at the right time here, especially with that first dragon picked up. It's going to be around crabs. I've been hearing a lot of people really say, like, more and more that crab is just not worth it, as Aragon might have found Humor, but that's kind of the disadvantage of Rel, is you can find the fight, but very tippy top of the range.
Yeah, very hard to actually get the full engage here. Humor should be able to just easily grab up this farm. Actually, a little bit awkward since the pass is now burned, so might have to commit the E as well. So going to be taking a bit more damage than he would like on this mid wave. We see Poom already on the bot side again. I believe they actually did spot God's Glory on that Krug camp as well, so they should have good info on where he is towards that grub side. So this is Poom's big chance to find an opener, especially considering there are no wards on this bot side just yet.
No, not anything, at least that's going to benefit the evil here, the strawberries. Just looked up, just lost my train of thought staring at Megabyte in the corner there, to be honest.
It is a great logo.
It is a great logo there, but you saw Jacob had a little bit of an opportunity to look for a roam there, and that's going to be missed time because Hyrax is going to eat a big dredge line from Kerwa. There we go, Kerwa. But nothing really to be found other than damage trading. They've got that level 6 advantage here, but it's not quite on Kerwa yet. Just a little behind off that death.
Yeah. Poom just going for a reset. Wants to at least contest the grubs, but since Xin is now on the bot side, well, no wards for him either. So guess what? This is also free, but the dive is risky. This is a level 6 Vayne. Should also have Condemn in the pocket. So unless they get a nice opener with the Nautilus, which they are burning this wave as fast as possible. There's also a fight happening on the top side and the bottom left. But Yone gonna miss out on some of that damage, so they're going to the bot.
Enough. It's back here. Aragon gonna eat that Hyrax, able to flash away. Here comes the heroic entrance. It's enough for Aragon. Blows that flash at the very end. Tanking by that tower. Really good from Kerwin. Now Jacob back under here. Flashed on by their good shockwave. Able to lock them to the tower. Jed tanking right now. Depth charge gonna be found with the good hook, but it's not enough to find that kill. Humor still under the tower. One more shot's needed. It's God's Glory picking it up. Vayne able to pick up Hyrax. Could find this next kill. Humor doesn't have the damage. It's evened up, and it's all into the pockets of Hyrax.
Yeah, really nice play there from Jacob. Finds the awareness to just clear the wave. Also scoops up 2 with the shockwave at the same time. Instrument forced to flash away. Committed the R just a second ago, and I believe Yone was able to dodge away from it, so doesn't have the resources to actually be able to tank that. Now, finding some good poke with Zahen in the wing.
Ooh, good. Fancy feet. They're trying to grab a... Oh, what is it? Klugi Chungus. Oh, that's a new one. All right, hello Chungus. You will be Chungus for the rest of the time. Klugi, that's a little better. Instrument maybe greeting a little bit too hard as God's Glory not able to find the Winds Become Lightning. That's the engage you're looking for. Able to pop that ultimate. It's put up a lot of damage on a Chungus trying to follow along. Grabs that shield. Instrument 1 HP trying to grab the Honey Fruit, but Winds Become Lightning just enough rest left to the junglers. Both able to trade the kills. Do they want to take this fight, though? Because Jacob's in the area, doesn't quite have the shockwave, but has the damage here to provide. Slow landed. Good knockup on a Poom, able to get down on top of Jacob there, but the knockup's too much. It's the extra body. It's more than enough here.
Yeah, lore victory there for Zhen. Two Xin walk into the top lane. What happens? Turns out the one that is alive, technically, is the one that takes the dub there. And we just see the bot lane here. So the wave's actually quite thin here since that last melee minion actually takes the final shot there, and then they just don't have enough damage, and the turret's been stacking. So this is just a ton of damage. Hyrax, good awareness just to make sure that you get within the Crescent Guard to do the final bit of damage there. Picks up a ton of gold, and this Vayne you've been shutting down all game is, you know, fully unlocked after that. And then very long play sequence here where Instrument is trying to bait for the Yone, which I think could have been a much more positive play, but I think they go a little bit too far forward. Or, you know, split attention just a little bit. Makes a lot of sense. But I think it really does come down to Klugi missing the Q3 there at the very end, and yeah, having no escape here from where that E actually landed.
Just kind of slight bits of miscommunication.
Right.
Oh wait, it's back into live there. It's a good engage, and they're going to find that Magnetic Storm onto Kerwa, trying to find a root on a Hyrax, but it's not enough. Condemn into the wall, and Jed was all she wrote. Now here comes the Galio Humor, able to get away for a second. Maybe, oh, good Shockwave dodge, keeps them alive. Zehen trying to find the engage, not able to do it in the pull, missing. Humor makes it out, but the Dragon's still up, and there's no one around.
Yeah, nice. Nice angle there on the E there. It's very hard to run away with that E just because of the nature of the ability itself. So finds a good angle to actually be able to get out. Something coming through. Klugi looking for it.
Trying to find that knockup, able to do it there under the tower. Just a solo bolo by Klugi. Holy.
Yeah, no Mega means Yone kind of has free time to hit. I think actually Mega is just a lot stronger in this 1v1. Just because Yone kind of has to face tank all the Mega damage, whereas a lot of other champions don't really have to.
They don't mind.
Yeah, exactly. They don't really care. Whereas, like, in this matchup, I mean, you kind of need the CC from the W and the ult to actually be able to, you know, kite out just a little bit and then go for a re-engage when the ultimate actually runs out. Or not ultimate, Fury actually runs out. So, yeah, very interesting here. Hyrax now very powerful with the Bork already in the pocket. Obviously, Yunara's also very strong, but you know, this should be a game where Vayne's just shut out, considering how that early game actually went. So this is actually a very unfortunate state that ABS has found themselves in.
You kind of hinted at it a little bit in draft. There's 3 lanes that we need to have someone win, and that's all that matters here. And everyone besides that Nard is winning, but Jacob a little far forward. Humor able to find that taunt there. Not very long, but the Winds Become Lightning. Shockwave landed. Jacob trying to get away. Doesn't have the flash. Can't clear the distance. Able to do it. Humor can't get just as much up a time. And it's a single kill. Single, I guess, but it's Hyrax back into the engage of the bot lane. Jed does quite have the DPS to kill their Hyrax. Not able to find anything in the CC. Not enough from Aragon. Trying to find the fight. Able to flash forward. Picks up the 1. But still going 2 for 0 across the map here for the Strawberries. Looking pretty good, but actually 2 for 1. I completely forgot about Vayne. You know, sometimes when the support fights go on for so long, I forget that the AD carries do exist.
Yeah, we're just so mesmerized watching 2 0 damage champions hit each other. It's a very interesting prospect to watch, but you know, they also made the mid play on Jacob just prior, and very good from Jacob there to put the ball in a spot where both of them get scooped to the other side of the shockwave, so gives him a good escape route on that one. So I don't know, pretty well played from Strawberry How Evil. A little unfortunate for Vayne to go down with a shutdown, I believe. And you know, good on Instrument to find the solo kill. You know, whoever has R seems pretty good in that matchup, so we'll see. Now it's once again Klugi's turn. We'll see if he's actually able to find anything. No Bork yet completed, so I think might have to just wait for that item completion since the Trinity Force already complete for the Gnar, and that's a very big power spike. Yeah, it'll be pretty interesting. Obviously, we haven't really paid attention to objectives, but we're 1-1 Drakes, and then Strawberry has been able to get the 3 grubs as well.
I don't even think, based on the cooldown, Instrument didn't even ults there in that 1v1. My guess is Klugi just
I think we saw it. Yeah, I think we
Okay.
saw it. It's just such a short cooldown. It's
Oh, it
basically your
was-
Fury bar.
I see. Even oh yeah, because it is rank 2 already, huh?
Yeah.
Because like rank 1 is pretty long. It'll take pretty much 2 Furies guaranteed, but after rank 2, it's short like you mentioned. So they're trying to really abuse this Gnar. It seems to be the well that they want to come back to every time, but Instrument has kind of readjusted their position. They haven't played Steel Caps too, so on top of the Frenzy speed that you're going to get, you can just kind of run them down. That's forcing on the defensive Fate Seal from Klugi. They're trying to find Poom here. Jacob over the wall, going to try and find the Shockwave Orb, forces Klugi's flash. Now Humor maybe in the wrong spot. Hyrax on the bot side, able to pick up Jed, but the fight's still top side, able to flash away from the Gnar. Doesn't have that ultimate, but the knockup out on God's Glory, keeping the fight going, but no Shockwave. Not a whole lot left in the tank for the side of Evil. They still win across the map. Zehen able to pop that ultimate. God's Glory 1 HP, able to fall, finds that kill. Justice rains from above from the Galio, picking up the kill. Down to the bot side, though, it's pretty just destroyed towards ABS. Kerwa last alive, and good tanking from Aragon. Going to guarantee the kill. It's 3 for 1 across the map. The Strawberries are looking, I hate to say, a little evil.
Yeah, very evil here. Honestly, very well played there from Hyrax. I'm sure we're going to get a replay here. Just able to dodge away from a lot of this damage. Jed walks a bit too far forward, gets Magnet Stormed, and there is no walking out of that one. Nice attempts from Kero to try and trade over the kill, but, it just doesn't work out. Vayne is forced to burn Flash, though, at least, so that is a repeatable thing you can kind of look towards, but still not exactly the best here. Instrument has to get a little bit scared of your Klugi, who does not have that Fate Seal just yet, but still within arm's reach here. No Mega even close and still exhausted at this point. Just trying to survive out on this one. In the mid lane, we do have now Hyrax kind of unlocked now that the bot turret is down. So this is going to make Galio's life hell. So you're going to need to bring Yunara over. But Yunara kind of wants this lane. You see, trying to go for a bit of a freeze at least, or pulling the lane. But it's pretty interesting how it's being executed here. Yeah, there you go. Got a nice stack on the bot side. So it basically means, hey, we're sacrificing mid lane again. We need to get some gold on this Yunara.
There are still a lot of plates, and you don't need a whole lot really to clear it at this point because the tower is just so tanky. Eyes are mostly on this dragon at this moment. They're even pulling Instrument from top lane. Doesn't have any summoner spells. TP top lane too. So kind of unfortunate they're going to pull this Gnar. They're going to call that off too. You can see it on the map. The dragon's just guaranteed. No real contest. And Instrument's starting to walk down Klugi. Getting a little too close. Half HP already. And this is probably what happened earlier. Fate Sealed defense, but you just can't get away. Frenzy too fast. Boots too fast. Slow's going to get eaten up though by the minion wave. So Klugi, he got onto those minions.
I'm surprised did not have the actual E there just to bounce off the minions and guarantee the ult comes through for Instrument, but still gonna feel good about this. There's no really good way for Klugi to walk back into this lane. Gonna try his best now, but doesn't want to overextend too much, and the turret is the target here for Instrument, so that should be a nice turret down, but they're going for a re-engage on this top side.
Kerwa's in the area. They're gonna pick up the tower, and Instrument going frenzied away. Can the dredge line even close distance? Instrument has that jump, finds the boomerang. That's just a free herald and maybe a Nautilus delivered in, just a little bit of a bonus, but not able to find that. Nothing really landing for either of these teams, so they're just kind of feeling each other out, figuring out what's going on, but I don't think a really fight should happen other than Hyrax gonna look too far forward. Taunt's gonna land and Jed finds the arc. It's a shutdown picked up by Humor. Hyrax, you were unsupervised there. You can't be there. Oh, Magic Store. Ugh. That didn't happen. Nope.
Yeah.
My eyes deceived me.
I mean, the one thing I did say is the Vayne is very susceptible to Galio, and right there you saw exactly why the taunt is just unavoidable for the most part. Instrument now going to try and chunk out Jed. No resource really left in the tank.
Ooh, it keeps going, but they're going to have the heroic entrance. Instrument not knocked up and just barely going to miss the boomerang. So very close. I think still would have needed that shield even if the boomerang landed. So, I mean, good guy Humor keeping it up.
Yeah, so far the Galio's definitely been their strong point, but Galio's never really the champ you want to be playing around, per se, as far as being a carry, but this is a little bit more of a damage-oriented build with the Riftmaker in tow as well as the Proto Belt, so should have a little bit more to offer in this one, but, you get chunked out by a Vayne at the start of a fight, and you can really feel the burn after that. Now looking for Jacob yet again. Does have the turret still alive on the bot side, so a little bit more safe than Humor would be on the opposite side. As far as objectives, we do have Baron spawning in 10. Jacob.
Jacob a little caught up, but it's God's Glory getting turned on their face. Shockwave's going to land, but it's eaten up by the Crescent Guard, so can't really do anything besides Poom flashing forward, trying to find the pole, and that's God's Glory just picked up again before another dragon. 20 minutes And this dragon hasn't spawned yet, but just unfortunate space to die, still in kind of that lull space.
Yeah, and this gives a lot of time for, the carries of evil to just push out these waves, get a nice reset, and then, if they find another pick at some point, they could just easily convert that into a Baron at this point with the Vayne. Definitely one of those champs you always have to be careful of, just two-manning Baron, especially with the Bork Ginsu's build in particular.
Yeah, it is very worrying. Vayne, as pretty much everyone should understand, that is just one of the best Baron taking champions, second to Kai'Sa. I'm
Kog'Maw.
pretty sure. Yeah, Kog'Maw, I guess. Like Kai'Sa and Kog'Maw are just so good, and Klugi is, on the wrong side of history, able to fate sealed away from the wall, but
too.
you're just there's everyone waiting for you, and that dot rush is gonna spot out it with the fate lights, but now they're just trying to run it down. Maybe Klugi can live long enough, and they're pinging, trying to force some sort of a play in the mid lane, but Jacob is unpickable. Hyrex picking up that kill on a silver platter.
They want the fight though. They're pinging hard onto the 3 core of ABS, but it's still a little bit scary here. God's Glory now walking through a ward. Aragon not going to be able to hit anything there. Instrument looking for a bit of a flank, but Mega is running out. Might just try and force it anyways, as
Could
everyone
be.
else is collapsing.
Has flash. Oh, so close.
Nautilus spots out the rest of the force walking forward, so they decide to call it off. Orianna's going to go back towards the bot side. Humor can't actually finish off the turret here, so a little bit extra gold denied on the very end of this one. So not the worst for either of these teams, but the gold lead is 3K in favor of Strawberry How Evil. Humor now getting his recall interrupted, just a bit of a timer burn. But, a lot of the lead is in the top lane, jungle, and AD carry position. So those 3 carries we were talking about before, definitely feeling a lot of pressure now. Hyrax trying to bait up the Nautilus. Unfortunately, going to get blocked out by just timer, I think, because the shield wasn't up. So, yeah, now setting up for the Drake. 30 seconds on it. God's Glory is going to grab up this Gromp, but will lose the blue buff and, afford a lot of vision over to the other side.
You could only give so much here at this point in the game. Right? Everything's kind of crumbling through your hands. This is a mid-game. Like, this is a 4th Dragon team comp right here. It's your job to really be fighting these on somewhat even footing, and they aren't able to really contest any of their jungle space. They're finding, Klugi's finding that top tower, so that's pretty worth it, but the ping's coming on through. They're finding Karawa, Instrument trying to charge up the Fury, but it's not enough quite yet. It's going to be into the tower if they want any sort of a fight. Emoting from Humor. Finding that, I'm going to keep doing this all time, humorous. And that just forces the Gnar TP away, but the Dragon, for the evil Strawberries, are, that's a net benefit.
Yeah, and it's just so hard to walk forward here. Boom, able to grab up the drag. That is the 3rd Drake now. Soul point on the board for Strawberry How Evil. So I think the invisible gold is the kind of scary part, and like where different carries are item-wise. If Vayne completes this 3rd item and they force a Baron take, I'm not sure if Arcbolt's going to have the gold to actually be able to do anything about that.
No, not with how tanky everyone is. How much lifesteal you have to deal with Zehen. Orianna's going to help pretty a lot, and this tower is going to fall into Humor now on the wrong side of history. Has to get away, and Boom able to find the pullback and driver's license. Hold up, following Aragon. Okay, how do you be back in? Parallel parking.
Be able to get this.
Okay, finds it. Can they get out though? Like a bandit. My God.
Nothing too bad. God's Glory really looking for it, but Aragon is out, dodged away from the wind, becomes lightning, so doesn't have too much to worry about. Now pushing on the top side, there is a nice bit of crust there. Just gonna not over force. Doesn't want to get picked off at a crucial moment like this one. So very good discipline so far. Strawberry Evil, 5K gold just in that play sequence alone. Swing over, or not swing. Well, they went from 3 to 5, so 2K gold swing in their favor. Now God's Glory forced out of the jungle as well. So they're really trying to choke out for this Baron. Ward does come down, so you see Blue Trinket's getting committed for it, so they are worried about this kind of, hey, this team can kind of just start it whenever they feel like it, but Galio is kind of in no man's land, so we'll have to see if Humor's able to get out. Gonna try and force a recall here. Oh no, greeting for the turret. It's not worth it. Not now.
Oh, and the call has come from upstairs. Humor has realized, I might be in the wrong spot. Able to try and get away for a couple seconds. Can you buy time here for maybe a play from ABS? You can see them collapsing on that Baron here. Humor is very much dead. Don't worry about that. Poom's on the bot side of the map, though. Doesn't have TP. Has to try and get here at 1,300. This is going to be a 3v4. You have to take this as Evil Strawberries, and Death Charge is going to get burned. 2 knocked up already. Instrument trying to charge up. Dredgeon's going to miss. Maybe just going to get off this. Kurt Kluge in the wrong spot. It's a disaster for ABS. They could not coordinate in time. It might be just a leash. Poom's in the area. Instrument chasing them down. Maybe a little too far forward. Could try and find the spike. God's going to pop the Crescent Guard in the wrong side of the wall. And that's too many people inside the Crescent Guard. Magic Storm going through in the backline. They're able to find the dive they want. Kluge can't get away. Drag back into the fight. Fate Seal trying to knock up something. Trying to peel. Trying to give Jet a chance. And they just couldn't find it. The greed. Too much for ABS. It's a clean ace.
I like the idea of just starting the Baron there, but, you know, as soon as you commit the depth charge and there's no follow-up to even go on anyone else, it's just a little bit too many resources burned for too little reward, and Instrument's just free to walk up at that point. And, yeah, there was kind of no saving that play after that. A little bit unfortunate here that God's Glory kind of sticks around and is hoping to find something. Kluge actually starts off fight. God's Glory thinks he's just alone. Crescent Guard should be able to protect from the Vayne, who's still autoing the Baron, but hey, there's still a Orianna in the area, and then a beautiful Fate Seal there, but you know, doesn't matter. Not enough damage in the tank to take the opposite side, so that'll just be a good lead over to Strawberry High Evil and the Baron.
Ooh. I just saw Humor's build. Is that really what we want to be doing here?
I mean,
yes.
It's just gonna
don't
be
have any AP
damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, who's standing up there with who's actually the tank in this game? Humor's gonna get caught out again. Nothing you can even do. No damage to apply. Instrument going on a rampage. Happy to take that one delivered to them with Amazon Prime. I mean, they can't even have eyes on Dragon. They gotta find something to do here to kill time.
Yeah, now it's Terminus completed on the Vayne too, so that squishy target that's supposed to be your goal is gonna be even harder to take down.
This is
Jed
something
has
you
good
could
damage
do.
here.
Kara's way too far forward now in the Nautilus, and it's a theme of the day. Nautilus is getting too far forward, getting behind, not able to do their good Fate Seal in the backline, able to find one shutdown picked up by Kluge, trying to find this on Hydrax. Good shutdown picked up, double kill by Kluge. My lord, they're still in the game.
Yeah, they were looking for a little bit too far forward, and Jed had a very good window there to just auto for free, so finds a ton of damage onto some of the carries, and then Kluge's there to sweep up the no utility 80 carry at the very end there. Instrument now pushing out on the top side. They do have to answer this. I'm not even sure if the Galio can really sit in the side lane. It should just be a kind of wave clear, but this is a Baroned up wave. So we'll actually tank the turret here. Nice awareness there from Humor. But still going to get 3 plates out of that interaction and just walks off.
Baron's a hell of a drug. It's really good.
2 seconds on the drag. This is a good opportunity for ABS to actually find this. They are committing the Gnar TP to the bot side. Aragon and Jacob, the only ones really else in the area, but they have to find this. This is Soul.
Watch Instrument trying to come from that backside there, running up the river. Time coming onto the side of Evil here. The crowd coming through. Instrument shows up on the map. They didn't commit to that, but this could be the choke you're looking for. But they found the pick. It's on a Jacob. Couldn't even get the shockwave off. Able to find the knockup, but the damage too much from the side of the Strawberries. Heroic entrance, but there's no allies left alive. It's a complete devastation to the side of ABS. The Dragon for what?
I mean, you've heard of Baron for Nexus. This might just be the soul point for Nexus here, as they do find the Drake, but this is a fight you don't really want. I think they get the Drake. They're just supposed to leave at this point, but they see Jacob, too juicy of a target, goes for the hook in, and yes, they find a lot, but everyone's stacked on top of each other, all the big ultimates landing, and they just get shredded to 0, and Hyrax free hitting at the same time. And that will be the game. Game 1 going to Strawberry How Evil.
My god, I think that was a 1,300, 1,400 damages a head out there. Hit all 5 targets. Yellow damage on all of them. My lord, such a good ult there from Poom at the end. Jacob, yeah, get a little caught out at the end there, but you know, anything for the team, your life for ire. Able to wrap it up, and you mentioned just someone has to carry, someone has to find damage. You have so many damage sources, you don't have to land on everything. The pressure isn't really onto Hyrax to really hard carrying these late games. All they have to do is just clean up one target and drag another, and they looked so good at that throughout the time. You can see that kind of reflected in the damage numbers. Yes, super high from everyone, but I mean, there was just not room for ABS. Made one mistake, and it was just a sprint from there.
Yeah, that bot lane play really kind of put things in disarray. I think they don't want that much chaos in the kind of composition that they were running. So seeing, oh, shoot, we just fed the Vayne 2 kills. And we got 2 kills in return, but the gold kind of got distributed between 4 members, so it's not actually as optimal. And then, you know, the Yone pick didn't exactly work out into the Gnar. I would say it didn't do bad, but
No.
the Gnar was free to do whatever he wanted at some point, which is just kind of how the matchup's going to go. So unless you have extra damage or extra setup, which they don't really have because they're really running Galio, Yone, like, you have to just find a good taunt into a good, say it's Fate Sealed on top of it, just to find any good AoE damage. And with how tanky the composition from Strawberry are Evil, it's just like, okay, we got to find that one miracle play to find both carries of Jacob and Hyrax, and then also hope we have enough to survive Instrument and Poom's big AoE ultimates. It's a very hard thing to do when you are coming from behind at least a little bit. So unfortunately for them, Jed didn't get out to a big enough lead. I think definitely that was their window. Hey, if Yunara's pumping in a lot of damage AoE like that, I think there's a chance in that game with that kind of composition. But things just went kind of wrong. But, you know, I don't think they played it that bad. Just a couple errors here and there really snowballed into something bigger.
Just got out of control. Their dream fights never showed up for them, which would be that Fate Sealed and the Galio ultimate. And with lanes going like that, you kind of have to write a whole lot of, hey, we showed up to compete, but we've got to kind of come up with a game plan that we can execute on. And that was definitely a comp where your focus is around showing up full zeros, no one really dying, maybe one gank going your way or going the other and nothing else. And they just couldn't keep everything under wraps. So going into the next game, I want to see them kind of embrace the chaos like the Strawberries did. If this is the way they're going to play, if they're going to adjust back to our like super honest textbook style of League of Legends, like they kind of drafted for here, that's perfectly fine. Just need to see that play adjustment. But with that being the case, fairly quick game 1 here. So hopefully we can keep this under wraps, something a little more competitive, because you may have been unfortunately watching a lot of stomps. So ABS have a lot to work on here, but can keep us going with a good win here. Strawberries want to end this off 2-0, quick and nasty and dirty and very evil. We'll see you when Draft 2 starts. Welcome back, everybody. A little slower now that game two's kind of got under the way. We're into the series. Evil strawberries or was it strawberries or evil? Evil
They're evil.
strawberries. They're evil, man. And they picked up that game, a very, very phenomenal game one off of a little bit of a messy comp and draft, but popping into this, they looked so good on it, so confident with exactly what they need to do here. So ABS have a lot of work to do on this blue side.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they end up drafting. What's the adaptation? This is a very selective ban here for ABS. They are now on blue side, so that gives them that first pick. They will ban Ziggs, which is one of Jacob's specialties, so it makes a lot of sense to ban away that champion in particular. Gwen, obviously one of the strong champs on the patch, has been strong for the last couple patches in a row. Makes a lot of sense to just pick up immediately. Yeah, and we're seeing Nico, good, strong support as well. Does very well into some of the other mage supports that are in particular. So you have a lot of extra leeway as far as that champion is concerned. Jinx banned out yet again. So I don't know. As far as compositions, what I really want to see from ABS is just something that has a little bit more explosiveness. With Yone definitely, but there really wasn't a good pairing with it. Honestly, if they had the Rel, maybe it would have been a better choice than the Nautilus, but they wanted some sort of point and click CC for a Vayne, which makes a lot of sense to me. We are seeing Bears get banned out as well. So now is when you pick something like Ashe Seraphine. I'm not going to lie, ABS, if you just pick Ashe Seraphine, you'll be chilling, but they are going to go with Mbessa instead, which is a nice flex pick for top and jungle.
Does leave you open to that Ashe Seraphine, like you mentioned, and I kind of look across the board here, and I 100% agree. What do I want to play as ABS here against Ashe Seraphine? I Lucian Nami and just kind of run the ones at level 3 and gamble the game is about all I've kind of got off the top of my head right now. Couple other combos that you can go, but it's the same idea here, and just gonna be this quirky Ahri, very kind of typical what you see across the world. Ahri still in a happy spot right now. The charm's still gonna be good, the damage still more than good enough at that 1-2 item spike, and quirky so strong on white item and transitions really well into the late game.
Yeah, Caitlyn makes a lot of sense as well. This is a champion that got banned a lot, also nerfed a little bit with Hex Optics getting a bit of a hit, but still very strong lane pairing. I want to see something dominant. We are going to see Nami, which has kind of been like the solo queue special champion right now. I feel like very, very powerful in solo queue in particular, but we haven't really seen it come up too much in pro besides like a Jhin Nami combo, which we do see sometimes, since generally you want some sort of setup CC for the Nami itself to land the bubble as well. Blitzcrank makes a lot of sense. It breaks through these kinds of very powerful mage bot lane combos. So Blitzcrank will have to see how Aragon's grabs are going to go. If very successful, you're going to be having Sushi on repeat. So we'll have to see if that ends up being the case or not. Corki, obviously, great late game scaling pick with a really good early game. Kind of weaker in the mid game, so that's kind of what your trade-off is. But guess what? You have Valkyrie to stay alive for longer. And then we do see Mbessa and Mel get banned out. I'm a little bit surprised to see Mel get banned out just because of the kind of repeated hits that the champ took, but still actually quite powerful as far as actual DPS is concerned. Just a little bit of the utility is gone of the champion. And ABS on the other side just banning away strong jungle pairings with the Ahri. So we're actually going to be seeing Zyra jungle. This is something I have been testing.
Oh my God.
It's actually very powerful, but you know what the counter to Zyra jungle is? Brand jungle. So we'll have to see if that ends up being the pick, because that's also banned, or not banned away. It got buffed in the recent patch.
Yeah.
So
looks like they're gonna opt into that Silas. Gonna probably just hold this as a flex pick, so they're gonna try and find something else and kind of flex around a little bit between mid and jungle, which could be a little scary.
Silas mid and Bessa jungle, K'Sante top. So
yeah,
pretty interesting stuff. Zyra should shred through a lot of this team. And Bessa's going to have to get up to a pretty big lead to just make sure to close that gap. This champion is strong. And we're going to be seeing a kind of specialist, I wouldn't say specialist pick, but this is like something very tailored towards beating K'Sante. It's a tank killer of the Rek'Sai. So pretty cool pick overall from Evil. So this is like a very surprising composition. You would not expect these 5 champions to be together in a coordinated 5v5 environment. But I think it works pretty well. Just,
it does.
You know, you have a lot of linear CC. That just kind of works. So obviously Silas gonna be terrifying, has both the Blitzcrank and the Ahri ult, which are two very powerful abilities, as well as Zyra's ult as well, which is a little bit not as good, but you know, you'll still take nonetheless. The AP ratio is a little bit low for that particular ability, just because she's an actual support, and whereas Blitzcrank gets to get high AP ratios because none of the rest of his kit does any damage. So yeah, pretty interesting. And then Caitlyn, Nami, gonna have to be kind of the focus. Will they know how to navigate a Blitzcrank lane? I feel like Blitzcrank's that one champion that in solo queue you ban every single game just because you don't want to deal with it. Like, you got a cracked Blitzcrank player, there's a chance you just get hooked once randomly in lane and the game's over. So I'm curious to see if they navigate that matchup for Jed and Kerwa effectively or not. But I think a lot of stock on the mid jungles for both of these teams. Jacob and Poom versus Humor and God's Glory, which kind of was a trend in the last game where we saw Humor and God's Glory, you know, do pretty well in the early game to really isolate out Jacob, but Poom was doing a great job on the other sides of the map to kind of equalize that force. So that'll be the really big question of how strong this Ahri can get.
And I think I mean, you grabbed almost everything here, but I think a couple key things I saw. I've seen this Rek'Sai K'Sante matchup literally a couple days ago get played out, and it looked just so hard for K'Sante to find anything in there. Not necessarily that they were killing each other. There was like one kind of wayward chance where Rek'Sai got the kill, but the sustain from Rek'Sai on that passive is so high, even on the minions specifically. And Blitzcrank, as you mentioned, kind of the sashimi thing. If you're hitting hooks as Blitzcrank, it doesn't matter how weird your comp is. If Blitzcrank is grabbing Jed, if they're grabbing Kerwa before these fights, it's just going to be so good. I'm a little worried about how that burst is going to come around because, ooh, good look there from Aragon. I'm a little worried how this burst is going to come around because I look at across the board from Evil, and you've got Corki, and like Ahri's got some good burst at level at 1 and 2 items, but you kind of get into those dog days at 3-4 item range, and it's gonna be really scary. Even if you grab Caitlyn, she's gonna be chunking someone out on the way through, and you're still gonna have to deal with K'Sante. You're still gonna have to deal with Silas. So gonna have to get very creative with these picks here for the Evil Strawberries to make it into the like hyper late game stuff if we have to even get there.
Yeah, Arcbolt Surge, you know, they have the early bot lane lead here, especially with Aragon burning Flash. That is a pretty big cooldown to actually lose immediately, but I like the look from Aragon. You get that hook, and suddenly the game is so different against this Caitlyn, so I don't mind it too much. It's unfortunate it didn't actually end up working out, not even burning a Flash from either of the bot laners of Arcbolt Surge. So, yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Yeah, you talked about it on the top lane. Yeah, Rek'Sai just going to sustain. Obviously, very much so nerfed compared to where she once was post-mini rework, but still definitely a champion that you just kind of have to deal with, having a lot of sustain. As we do get engaged on the bot side.
Oh no,
it's a disaster.
Kerwa. Oh, that situations like that. I mean, we can see that replay, but you know exactly what happened. Aragon's in the area, that hooks on cooldown there with the good ignite found, and Instrument's just going to get kind of ran down a little bit, failed to establish priority early, ate a couple in Tofo strikes that they weren't supposed to, and it's going to be a little bit on the harder side to kind of work your way back into this lane if you're just not ready to kind of brawl at low HP. That's where you kind of shine the most as this Rek'Sai. First off, you want to be a little lower HP to get more use out of Doran Shield, hyper optimization. But the big thing is you're happy to kind of get trades down to 200 HP because you're sustaining back to 400. You just have to be comfortable in that situation. And if you're not ready for that, if you're not ready to play on that bleeding edge, I don't know if Rek'Sai is really the pick, but hopefully Instrument can prove me wrong.
Yeah, Aragon in the area, did Hex Flash over the wall, but no W to even run in, so it has to be Humor kind of overextending just for this play to actually happen. Level
Already
2
Hex Flash.
Blitzcrank, not actually going to get pinged out, but Humor has some sort of clue with a bit of a ping there, so maybe did actually spot the Blitzcrank there. Poom now, just clearing up here, should be able to grab the Scuttle on the bot side, so utilizing a little bit of that extra pace that Zyra has, but honestly not too big of an advantage there. Clear speed-wise, but Poom is in the mid lane.
Poom is in the mid lane. Humor's got the dash and the flash, so something's going to get burned here. And just able to get away. God's Glory waiting in the wings. Poom spots it. Didn't have the time to see it, though. Trying to react and going to take a lot of damage. It's not really a fight quite yet. Still too early for these jungler, these kind of matchups really to find lethal without lots of trades, and Humor really the only person under threat. And they're going to find another hook onto Kerwa. Not much you can do. Phosphorus Bomb pumping so much damage. He'll burn, but it barely looked like it existed. Hyrax off the back of Aragon. My lord.
Yeah, Kerwa not respecting it. I think Kerwa lives there. You know, Kerwa just respects the Phosphorus Bomb damage and flashes him away immediately. Ends up tanking it, and there's just no escape after that point. And now no flash on your support. Very squishy. So Aragon should just have free reign here. Nice ward over the wall by Humor, so shouldn't get caught off guard by this one. Still has to be a little bit careful.
That was lethal if you hit that Aragon.
This is true. A little bit scary there. Instrument now just clearing up the top side. Yeah, you know, I think because of how chaotic bot lane is, this gives so much room to for Poom. Poom should have just the freest game ever, just farming up in this early game. Which is exactly what Zyra kind of wants to do. You hit level 6, you could start one-shotting people out of brushes. Your goal is to be annoying and not get engaged on as Zyra, typical of the champion. But this is a very strong champ, I think. So I don't know. It's looking scary. 1.3k gold at 445. That's
And what 700 of that is from bot lane. So like eyes on that 100%. Maybe a little less, but I'm looking at that far mid lane more than anything else, and it's just, you know, good on Jacob to really get ahead in terms of the farm, in terms of the brawling that we really kind of expect to see from this matchup. It's supposed to be super active. It's supposed to be on the bleeding edge, kind of like a lot of what you see across this map here. And Aragon is Blitzcrank's always put a smile on my face. When I see Blitzcranks just do stupid stuff, it makes my day every time. It's so fun. You hear the voice, and there's like a hive mind you connect to. All
got the pay to win skin too.
Oh yeah, they do. Huh?
Control 3.
Oh. No way, we get away with that,
just
right?
Gonna walk it out.
No
just
way.
chill. Just gets an auto and walks away.
It just cancels their auto attack and walks. No way, you gotta pick something there, God's Glory. Come on.
Yeah, I mean it's just hard. You don't have the public execution to actually be able to find a good engage, and yeah, the bubble was just. I mean, it's scary to toss bubble. You miss that, you might just die on the clapback. So, wants to try and save it for as long as possible. Gonna get hooked, Jed.
Oh, and that's a bit of damage falling onto the Caitlyn. Able to pump it back in kind, though. Finds that full combo to Hyrex. Just getting eaten up a little bit of CC, and still kind of moving around. They found this dragon here for Evil, which is always going to look good, but I'm starting to get a little worried about this top matchup. You know, I've seen this a couple different times, and it's always the Rek'Sai in the lead. You need the Rek'Sai to be in the lead. The rework didn't make it any kind of like more important to late game. You're still an early game champion, so it's kind of concerning to see it falling behind this early.
Yeah, now Poom fighting in the jungle. Actually going to steal away the red buff here and forces the flash from God's Glory. Zyra doing the work here. Instrument.
Could get on the board.
Flash.
Has the flash, and they don't even need it. God's Glory is just going to get delivered to Instrument. Might be the break you need in this top lane to really start doing more.
Yeah, Jacob just sitting here on the bot side, threatening the dive. Silas so far behind lane tempo-wise.
Oh, yeah. That's the rocket grab, baby. What you need for Jacob picking up the kill. Kerwa last here. Charm not coming off cooldown. Not a lot to catch out the Nami, but I mean, you're just watching your AD carry die there like, I'm sorry, bud. Not much we can do.
Yeah, one of them will have to go down there just the way the positioning ends up landing. Aragon tanking the turret for the AD carry of Hyrax, so good guy, Aragon. Finding the hook, tanking the turret. What else does he do? You know, just he's got everything in the tank right now. Klugi now getting pushed in just a little bit, so gonna have to take a little bit of a chill here. But, you know, Silas at least had some time there to catch up back in CS just a little bit, so that lead has shrunk just a bit, but we'll have to see if it matters. 4-0 now. They're almost 2,500 gold up for Strawberry How Evil, so they put themselves in a really good spot now. Also, we have Aragon walking towards that top side, Poom resetting, so just going to be able to set up for these grubs as well. And crucially, dodges away from that ward on the Raptor Pit as well, so no one knows where this Blitzcrank is right now.
What the crank doing?
He's looking, he's on a journey.
On a magical journey, just not able to find those tunnels that you know, we also need to see the proper magical journeys. Other than that, I like getting active. Corky's able to do that, especially if you kind of look on the bot side, Hex Flash over the wall. Aragon's able to insert themselves in a really good spot right now. But Caitlyn, I think I kind of want to harp on this for a second while I have it, is this champion that's very much Bowser. I don't even get that second rocket grab out of Humor. Dude,
No, he's different.
Can you miss?
No, he's different. All right, wrap it up. No, I'm kidding. I'm going hyperbolic. Looking really good here from Aragon. Just a nice pick. Takes away the Silas before he could even blink. And, you know, you had a perfect track record in mid lane at 0-0-0. Well, that's now got a 1 in that middle column. Hyrax trying to force out on the bot side. Just leveraging the power of Sheen early trading. Yeah, I don't know. Jacob now also forcing Klugi back. So a freeze is available on the top side.
Oh, we're so lucky that missed.
Into the bot lane. No hook coming through, and this is just an insane hook. Max range from Aragon over to the wall. There's no way Humor's even prepped for this, so if you're able to flash this, you're Faker, honestly.
Yeah, you can't do a whole lot there. It's hidden the whole time, but man, just movements from Aragon more than anything else to put themselves in that position, and now you're kind of looking like towards bot lane. What can we do? Looking towards top lane. What can we do as ABS? And behind Caitlyn, what I wanted to say is that behind Caitlyn, it's just not what this champion is really balanced around. This champion is always balanced around being ahead. Her damage comes from being consistently an item up, from the range advantage, from the sheer amount of damage that comes from her abilities and the combo specifically. And if you're not able to establish that at all in lane because of just this kind of support mismatch in terms of the matchup more than anything else, you can't do anything here. And it's just been set up. The history books have written it already. Charm looking for that, and it's guaranteed with the knockup. Not much he could do as Jed, just being cyberbullied. God's Glory has shown up here with the home guard, trying to clear onto Aragon. Might be that sacrificial lamb you need, and they're going to get delivered towards God's Glory. Charm going to go wide. Humor in the area, maybe ready to start this fight. Poom also showing up. Hyrax might be the victim, but the chain's going to miss there. They got the Spirit Rush for Humor here. Going to pop the Tangle Thorns, trying to find the knockup. Able to do with the damage, not enough. Yet Charm found Humor, able to get away, pop the Spirit Rush themselves. Kerwa stole so low. Sustain there. Tower is pretty risky to do anything here, but the Evil Strawberries have put in the work.
Yeah, but Arcbolt Surge finally a kill on the board. It was looking dire. Instrument barely getting away from that combo from Klugi. Forced to flash away. TP comes in on the top side with this Blitzcrank running straight at the K'Sante.
Oh no, this might be it for your bright spot here for ABS. Can the K'Sante pull off the meme? Can they find the fight? Able to find the knockup there. Gonna go out, finds a Blitzcrank. Looking for a little bit more. Unstoppable at the right time. Damage not there. Humor in the area. Finds a knockup. Blicked up the Aragon. You're falling now. Instrument in the bad place in the wrong time. Trying to get away. Able to do it for a second. Can the Nintofo Strike's gonna go wide in the next burrow. Good enough for Instrument, but the play, ugh, not great.
I mean, hey, you lost the unsealed spellbook Blitzcrank there, so not the worst. Instrument, though, if you go down here, it is a little bit scary.
Goes through with the ultimate, but the knockup's going to be found. Kind of a little bit of a donation.
Yeah, honestly, if the knockup doesn't come in, there's a chance that Instrument actually finds the kill with that fully charged E and with the true damage, so good on Humor there to make sure to have that. So we're on the board 3-6. We've kind of, you know, it's kind of evening up a little bit now, only within 2k gold just about for the lead here when it was sitting at around 3 just a bit ago. So well played here from Arcbolt. They put at least a bit of a look here. Aragon looking for it again. Jed.
Dude, my God. I have nothing to say. No words. Play Valorant, my friend. Foster's Bomb's going to put so much damage onto Karawa there. One more. The Rocket. My God, it's a double kill on the back of Aragon's Rocket.
Yeah, Aragon. I mean, definitely making a name in this game. You know, there's good things, bad things, but so far it's landed much more good than bad at this point. So can't argue too much with it. Now you got Zyro just moseying on in for this free Drake on the bot side. So yeah, I mean, this is just such an easy game for Zyro, which is kind of the one part you can kind of exploit is the fact that Zyro's weak early, but hey, guess what? She's still doing her job just
So is
fine.
Mbessa. Mbessa can't abuse that. That's the problem with this like flex, is Mbessa kind of just wants to do the same thing as Zyra. Clear as fast as possible, get to what I think you mentioned it a couple weeks ago of like you want to get to like your 2 items, you want to get the levels that you need to really have damage that you would as a top laner, and just takes so long. All out, not able to go over the wall there. Instrument gonna get taken quite low. That's Kazante things just written on a book.
Yeah, not respecting the item advantage there for Kluge, who's just been doing a great job in this matchup. Also, significant purchase there of the Bramble Vest, so definitely knows the matchup as well, so very good to see. Hook has to be flashed away from. Jed honestly just gave the respect. I'm not even sure if the rocket grab would have hit, maybe even put himself in a worse position with the flash, but now has to respect Jacob and Poom.
Oh, Charm looking for it. It's going to get eaten up by the minion, though. Jed's still taking too low. Jacob's going to go on a killing spree. In the meantime, 4 in the bot lane. What can you find as ABS?
Yeah, one of my friends says that, you know, those kind of kills where it's all the kind of, we call it ambient damage. Didn't really land any of the skill shots, but the damage still comes in to take down the 80 carry nonetheless. So, very good play there. Nonetheless, I mean, it's just hard to play out. Aragon now looking for the hook. I definitely was looking at the Nami. There's no way you're looking at the Silas there. Just kind of baiting out, trying to look for some sort of resources here.
Boom in the area.
Jacob doesn't have
Maybe?
any Spirit Rush charges here, so
Yeah, I want that.
we'll just have to
investment
force
too.
it. It goes for the blind. I mean, honestly, you've hit so much stuff in this game. Just go for it at this point.
Might be on fire there. If you pick up that Mbessa, she's way too squishy. No magic mantle and an eclipse, no extra HP there. God's Glory getting baited in the jungle. They brought Instrument too. The cavalry has arrived. Corki in the area too. It's going to be a 5v4 at best for here for ABS, and the rotation's going to come in a second there from the Corki, able to push on forward, finds that knock up onto Nami. Karawa just taken down instantly, deleted by Poom, picking up the kill. That's a Valk over the wall. They want this fight. Evil have smelt blood, and they're greedy for it, continuing to find it. Can't quite close the distance, though. They're trying to corral God's Glory into the wrong area. They've got a tower to work with there. Now it's Kluge. Hook's going to just go wide onto both of them. God's Glory into the tower here, but it's kind of fake. This there's so many members there. Hyrex, though, doesn't have Valk for a couple seconds. They're just trying to drag Kluge in the area. Charm, waiting, missed. Not able to find it. Instrument picks up God Glory in the tower there, and the Hook going to not be able to find that. Kluge trying to find the all-out, but no damage. In the meantime, they've brought Karawa back from the dead. My bad. That was 30 seconds ago. That's how long we've been looking for this, and Evil still, I mean, I feel like this is still a net benefit for them, even with how much they lost bot side.
Yeah, it's just hard for them to find any fights here as we do get a replay here. Aragon just kind of walks forward with the Ghost from the spellbook, so has a lot of extra pressure you wouldn't really think of initially. Now Karawa just walking way too far forward. Nice dodge away on the Charm, but it's all a bait. Aragon forces flash there. Your Nami gets taken down, and that's a lot of your, you know, kind of range CC that you can kind of utilize to peel off of a fight like this. So they go for a long trade into God's Glory, who realizes the sticky situation he's in, tries to find something at least, but gets just fully dove here. Poom finds the kill, and, you know, Hyrax able to survive on that tail end too, as well as Kluge does his best to find something. But yeah, it's just looking like they don't have the damage to actually contest it, but also they don't have the easy engage and the extra resources that you would have expected at this point in the game, with the Caitlyn being a little bit further below. Rushing the Hex Optics,
Is that intentional?
I mean,
Is that a
it is
good rush
good,
item?
but, you know, I'm not sure if it's the rush anymore now that the item's been nerfed a little bit. I've seen a lot more Collector and Stormrazor, so I'll have to see if I'm proven incorrect or not, but yeah, I mean, they are on that pickaxe, so I imagine IE will be the next item, and at that point, no item really matters, but Have to see. Maybe the Caitlyn just wants to play that far away, just max range, hit some traps potentially with the help with the setup CC.
Yeah,
but
that's my big Zyra right there. Just like that.
I mean, Zyra, free vision. It's kind of like Maokai, you know, free vision, but you're just not
Jacob,
taking.
under threat. This could be your way back into the game here for ABS, trying to catch out Jacob, but look how hard that spear rush is. I feel like I'm kind of jinxing when I say that is your play, but to be honest, that's a 300 gold bounty. That's the squishiest member besides Hyrex that you're really looking for. And Hyrex is going to have Aragon or someone else in the area all the time, and here could be something. Instrument getting a little too close, but the tunnel's still up, able to dance away, but Klugi, I mean, this is your threat as ABS. This is kind of who you need to really scheme around at this point.
Yeah, we'll just be able to grab up the turret on the top side too. So Instrument now going to be fully forced away from this one. Freedom for the Cassante. So now kind of just gets to mosey on through lane to lane. Not have to worry about too much of an engage just because who wants to really fight a Cassante at this point. But Poom going to grab up another Drake here. So gotten every objective in this game so far, which is more than you can even ask for. This is yeah, a little tough. Not gonna lie.
It is tough. It's a curse. We're just cursed.
I mean, hey, there was like a sign of life when Aragon decided to int on top lane.
True, and it could be here onto Jacob, but just able to get away from everything. That was public execution. That's the hijack as well. Already burned, maybe Jacob's gonna get a little too close. Forgets that the Spirit Rush is on Humor's inventory. They're gonna have one extra dash too, so they're gonna just burn that straight through. Flashes away from the chains. Humor keeps up the chase, trying to find the damage onto Jacob. Has to flash forward, trying to close the distance. That's Imbessa picking up the kill. Poom, pretty squishy on the Zyra. The hook found, trying to lock up someone for some time. Humor pretty low, could die to the burn. Aragon's gonna pick up the kill. God's glorious turn. That was your chance, and the door has been shut. Instrument picking up the kill.
Yeah, they still do get the 300 gold bounty on that Ahri, but Poom staying alive, definitely not what they wanted exactly, and healing up a ton thanks to the jungle pet as well, so not even going to be that much under threat, for instance, from a Caitlyn R per chance. Klugi now just pushing out on the top side, but this is a Cassante, doesn't really do the most damage to turrets besides the Demolish proc on the top. I'm not even sure if he's running Demolish, but yeah, it's just a little bit,
Crust.
it's hard. Yeah, the crust for sure, definitely helping out. But no grubs, no demolish, not that many kills. It's 4K gold down.
Ooh. We're just cursed, man. We're so
It's like
cursed.
stacking books on top of each other. Feeling the weight, feeling the pressure.
Every single
Arcbolt,
time.
obviously we
every single
talked about
time.
stakes for this. Like, this is a match they really need to win because they're going to be the only ones sitting at 1 and 3 if they lose this. And Kerwood's dead.
Yeah, goodbye.
The
Goodbye.
roaming Blitzcrank. Unassuming Blitzcrank in the jungle. Just walks forward, grabs a hook, moves on, was his day.
That black and white gif. You know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
every time. Jacob able to get away from God's glory. Ooh, just barely missing that charm. Aragon smells the blood, though. Looking for God's
That's
glory.
flash.
Does have flash. I wouldn't flash this. It's not worth it. It's Imbessa. You're dealing
It's
with
Aragon,
Callista.
though.
Yeah, true, it is Aragon. I never know what's going on inside the Blitzcrank hive mind. His instrument has to run away, and Tofa Strike's going to miss, trying to keep up these tunnels to get away. But the slows still continuing. Klugi could find the soul kill, able to charge up that true damage, tunneling away. Instrument staying alive on the bot side. Jacob not doing a whole lot either, just staying away from getting picked off, and the reset barely in time from Hyrax on that map there. Maybe a little bit of hesitation coming in from ABS there.
Honestly, this whole series, I think Klugi's been playing pretty good. Has to deal with a, specialty pick of the Gnar in the first game, and then honestly doing a really good job into this supposed counter matchup into the Rek'Sai, so at least you have that bright spot to kind of think about going forward, but, all things futile in the top lane just because of how isolated it is. Yeah, and now with Baron up, the top side is going to be a lot more of a focus, so we'll see if Klugi actually ends up rotating to the bot side, so a little bit more safe on that side of the map for now, until the drag spawns in 2 minutes which is Soul, so should be able to have a little bit more time to just bully Instrument in the top, bot lane now, just in the side lane, so curious to see how that'll go. Aragon now looking for Kerwa.
Oh. Always scary seeing that Blitzcrank sprint out, but snap it onto Jacob there. Spirit Russian away, hijack from Humor, trying to move with their good charm. Locks down God's Glory for a second, but Humor staying on top, able to pick up that kill now. Could be some opening there. Humor able to get over the wall. Ignite lasting, healing up. God's Glory trying to find Poom, but the damage not there. Poom's on a killing spree. Karwa burn that wave, and Hyrax is an assassin with these rockets. My goodness.
Yeah, the fade away comes in. Kluge now looking for the damage on Instrument. Wants at least the 1v1 consolation prize. We'll find the knockback. Instrument just forced to tunnel away as watches the Cassante with the all out in the pocket. Just get away from here, and as we do see how this actually started, public execution in the pocket actually does land here. So nice engage there onto Jacob. They do find the Spirit Rush, just showing the power of Silas into Ari. Fortunately for them, I think the damage from Red, I would imagine Red Pet actually took down that kill from God's Glory, and Humor lucky to stay alive. The sacrificial Nami is sacrificial yet again, but I don't know if you saw in the picture there, but Zyra just basically soloed the Baron.
yeah, she does that sometimes. Zyra's pretty good at that.
But this is Soul. 23 seconds. They have the Caitlyn setup. This is what they've been playing for. They need to make sure that they secure this, and also maybe potentially look for a fight with Kluge having the extra shielding.
There's the bubble, trying to find Aragon Burst coming on through. Took a lot of damage there. God's Glory's 1 HP already, trying to get away from the plans. Burns going through Hyrax, able to get away from the Antova Strikes. Kluge trying to find all out, but can't close the distance. Poom still alive. Jacob just barely whiffing the Charm Instrument on the side there. Look at those HP bars so low from ABS. And the Dragon's still up. They've been muscled away from their own traps. Poom pretty low. Hyrax going to try and execute Humor. Going over the wall with the Valkyrie. Could be a abuse. Public execution going on. Wave falling up, just barely going to go wide. Good knock up there. Zyra. Big person, big knock up there. It's a double kill. Jet over the wall finds the execution. A shutdown picked up by Hyrax, but through the tunnels, it's Instrument going on a killing spree. Karwa, not much you can do there. Just a consolation prize as Humor's going to show back up. They didn't die earlier, mind you, so they were able to TP back to this fight, but teams in shambles, sand through your hands. That's the best way I can describe it, is ABS are just getting dog-walked through this map one last time for Humor here. Just able to make it away from Instrument, but Jacob showing up in the area. Could be a knock-up. They're going to dash back through there. Yeah, Golden. Try and find some sort of a kill here. Damage more than enough. It's an ace picked up by Jacob. Oh. Just inevitable.
Yeah, very close to going down there. A little bit of a awkward navigating those turrets, but that's going to be Soul, and it's Hex Tech. Probably the strongest Soul you can possibly have on a Zyra of all things. I can't foresee them losing from here. I feel like that was their best shot. They found Aragon on the hard engage here, as we will see a replay here.
That she took, though.
But you know, it doesn't matter. Instrument coming in on the tail end here, and Hyrax just goes fully in, and God's Glory unfortunately gets clipped by the Zyra ults and doesn't find the damage to take down the Corki. So Jet has to finish the job, tries to go for a little bit of an outplay, but with the tag coming in from Instrument, that's just a free kill with that ultimate from the Rek'Sai, and now they've corralled Kluge on the bot side.
Yeah, they found that knock-up. Charm's gonna go wide. Maybe he could buy time. There's no help coming for this poor Cassante, though. It's a hard one, folks.
Everyone
this
puts
is
their
what
hands
happens.
in the cookie jar.
Yeah, the hands in the cookie jar.
And now we even have the Ahri TPing mid to foil those plans, as well as they push out on the bot side. Definitely going to try and cancel some of these backs, but has to be a little bit respectful of Humor, but doesn't actually have the Spirit Rush, so the engage is not going to be as good as it could possibly be. I think Jacob definitely will pull the trigger here on just trying to cancel some of these backs.
Rush, come on. Oh, Humor took the bait, looking for the fight. It's just God's Glory in the back there. Everyone else reset the resets. Jacob, job done. That's an inhibitor at least. Could be this first Nexus Tower. Maybe they temper here. They stop the resets
again. Oh,
Jacob.
No.
Oh my god. Could be the performance that you need here on the other side of the map. You're going to find the knockup. 10 seconds, 5 seconds on Kluge, but they're going to fall. Poom picking up the kill on a rampage. These towers paper. Jacob, stop the backs again. Finally coming on through there. There's nothing left in the base. God's Glory going to leave the game. They understand there's not much left in the tank of this team. Hook's going to go wide. Instrument looking for the re-engage. Karwa going to get knocked up. Kluge last alive here for the tanks. Humor knocked up. Poom unabated in the back line. Hyrax finally gets all out of here in these fights, but they're able to dodge away from Kluge. Nothing going on. Nothing here for ABS. They're stopped in their tracks. It's going 2-0 for the Strawberries.
Yeah. How evil, indeed, for the Strawberries. How evil. They do find the plays, and Aragon with a little bit of BM on top just to round out a nice 2-0 here. Man, what a performance here from, I mean, most of the players here from Strawberry Evil. I will say Instrument, a little bit of a lackluster performance in this last one, but it doesn't matter when you got Aragon hitting hooks like that left and right. And you accurately said it at the start of the game. It doesn't matter how bad your composition is. It doesn't matter how badly things are going in the game. If Blitzcrank hits a hook on the right people at the right times, it won't matter.
Mm-hmm. It's that X factor. It's a little bit of a band-aid you kind of get to play around and draft when you have this this tool like a very good Blitzcrank player in Aragon. It's just so hard. 1 through 16, 17 KPA matching up with Poom there, tying for top KP throughout that game. Just it's just too hard of a wall to really overcome here, especially when you're looking like at bot lane. Like, I don't really blame Jed and Carol for falling behind. First hook, 100% your fault. You really shouldn't be getting hit by that
Especially
that early.
after the Blitzcrank flashes and misses in
Yes,
level 1.
at level 1. But after that first hook there, it's gonna spiral out of control. You can't position well against a Corki as Caitlyn. You need to be aggressive. You need to be standing up and just challenging these hooks, challenging these phosphorus bombs, and you can't get away with it. And you're just gonna slowly fall behind. And that's when you type in chat, or you say in comms like, "Hey guys, we're playing for 6 items." You're just not going to make 6 items in a game like this at all. Not with how Aragon's hitting hooks.
Yeah.
So there's just no one to really play around to scale with, especially when your best performer in the series, to be honest, is Kluge.
Yeah, and also, I think it's also an unfortunate quirk of the draft where you pick Blitzcrank after that you see Caitlyn Nami, and like one of the strengths of Caitlyn with like Lux or Karma is you have really good push, and Blitzcrank hates getting pushed in, but Nami doesn't really have the push that either of those two champions have, so you don't have the safety of just being able to hard push every wave and not have to deal with the Blitzcrank going for a hook at a time that's pretty bad for him and just praying you get hit under turret, for instance. So yeah, just a little bit unfortunate there. And with bot lane blowing up so hard, guess what? The Zyra that's supposed to be exploitable by a good mid jungle duo of Humor and God's Glory, that doesn't matter anymore. So Poom just has all the space ever, and I mean Zyra just does a lot of damage right now. So you do not want to be dealing with that champion at that strength. And as soon as Soul is secured, Hextech Soul, getting, I don't know, 1,200 range or whatever Zyra QW has.
Mm-hmm.
Just being able to shock and slow you down from there just makes a lot of sense for how Evil to take it. And that puts them in a pretty good spot in the group considering everyone's tied 2-1. So they take a win. Now they're sitting 3-1. That's a great spot to be with only 3 weeks left in the league.
Yeah, 2-0-2. So you're able to kind of make up for a 2-1 series you had earlier in the season. And unfortunately for ABS, it's a hard loss. There's not a ton you can pull away outside of laning phase from game 2 specifically. Game 1, you got a little bit more to work with, a little more meat on those bones. But really the big takeaway is kind of just committing to a team comp. Like game 2, you enter in with this Caitlyn Nami, you need to get priority, you need to be playing around this, and you're running Embessa jungle as a flex into the draft. It just kind of means Caitlyn isn't the pick. So you're stuck at the door for ABS. Unfortunately for them, very tough road to even make playoffs to kind of end out this, but not impossible. Mathematically still in it, of course. And we've seen harder situations, especially kind of looking to the past for
Crazy
other
things can happen.
leagues. So it can happen. With that being the case, though, unfortunately, another stomp that you and me have to cast here on Vanquisher. So another week that we get to kind of look for a more competitive series that we can deliver you guys here. But still a series nonetheless. Still a fun series nonetheless. Congratulations to Evil for picking up the 2-0. With that being the case, I've been Halfling, joined by Golden Guide. We've got Shavam and Kiri on the observing. Let me get your name right. Kiri Mitosa. Thank you. I want to get your name right every single time. Shout out our production crew for showing up and making everything work, going through the production bugs. With that being the case, I'll see you all next time.